A news hour tonight. Over 30 people feared dead. 8 rescued in Zamfara boat accident. Troops rescue 13 kidnapped victims from bandits' hideout in Kaduna. Booming market for perishable foods in northern Nigeria as prices drop. On the foreign scene, Comoros President Sniper found dead in prison. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Now the news. At least 32 people, among them women and children, have been reported dead in Gumi town, Gumi local government area of Zamfara state, after a boat capsized with 40 passengers in a river in the local government area. A resident of Gumi, Sefiyanu Daniya, said that the incident occurred in the early hours of Saturday after an overloaded boat collided with an oncoming empty boat. Daniya explained that the captain of the empty boat was trying to reduce some passengers from the overloaded boat when suddenly the boats collided, hence the overloaded boats capsizing and sinking in the river. Another resident, Shehu Aminu Gumi, confirmed that out of the 40 passengers, only a few of them were rescued alive, while the rest went missing in the river, adding that it took the survivors almost 2 hours before they appeared on the water's surface. Also speaking, the Sarakin father, Gumi, Mahmoud S. father, confirmed that 8 people were rescued alive. Now we have on phone call the Trust Regional Editor, Yushao Adamu, joining us via phone call, to give us an update. Hello, Yushao. Thank you for joining us on News Hour tonight.
Good evening, Chiamaka.
We've had you back to back in the last few days.
Pardon?
So we've had you back to back in the last few days talking about things happening in Zamfara State.
Of course. That is the nature of the work.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. Now, let's get to what's happened today. A tragic incident. Another one has happened. A boat mishap has happened. What more have we learned about this incident?
Well, this is the second incident that happened in that particular river. It's a river that many residents cross from one side to another, particularly farmers and women, to the other side for either farming or wedding ceremony and what have you. According to one of the residents, on a daily basis, about 300 to 500 people used to cross that river using only 2 boats. What they are blaming on the accident is the nature of or number of the people that used to cross. This particular boat that capsized was overloaded with, like you have said, over 40 passengers. So the empty canoe or boat, the captain realized that this overloaded boat might have encountered this problem midway into the river. So he tried to come to the rescue of the passengers. Unfortunately, they collided and the overloaded boat capsized and sank into the river. This is what led to the death of the people.
Okay.
Up to this moment, only 8 people were able to be rescued, while the rest remain missing, and the search rescue is still ongoing, even though the circular was invited to check whether there is possibility of getting some of the victims alive. He said, of course, the remains might not have resurfaced until the next day, that is Sunday.
All right, now you're taking us to my next question, which is there a latest update on the death toll so far? Because earlier we're still saying 32 of yet dead, 8 have been rescued. Anything so far?
No, up to this moment that I'm speaking with you, there's no discovery of any victim either alive or dead.
All right, Michelle. So while you were speaking, you talked about the fact that this boat, and that's the story too says that the boat was overloaded. And I have a question: are there not some sort of maybe task force or people who are supposed to stand? Because you are saying that this is not the first time this is happening. Has there been any stop-offs put in place to avoid this reoccurrence again?
Sincerely speaking, you know the nature of our villages. You hardly control people, especially in this time of raining season, or when everybody or anybody that wanted to reach to home at a time in time before maybe rains arrive and what have you. So it is very difficult for even the captains to control the number of people that is supposed to be on board the boat. So when Sarkin Lua arrived, he even warned the captains that they should devise means of controlling the passengers they're supposed to take. So I learned that the district head of Gumi also came in with the intention to put some laws or guidelines of carrying passengers in that place.
All right. So just before we let you go, emergency services, are they there? And what are they doing if they are there for the affected people?
No, there's nobody from on the side of our government. They are only making effort on their own to rescue the victims, either alive or to discover or to recover their remains.
All right, hopefully the government comes in and helps these people and get them out of that situation. Thank you so much, Ishao Adamu, for joining us tonight on the News Hour.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
We were just talking to Daily Trust Regional Editor Ishao Adamu. Give us an update on the boat mishap that took place in Gumi local government area of Zamfara State. Now let's go to security stories where 3 of the bandits recently killed by troops in Zamfara State have been identified to be among the killers of the late Sarakin Gorobe, Isa Muhammad Bawa, the younger brother of the late monarch to Shoibu Gwenda Gorobe, confirmed this in a chat with Daily Trust. Gobri said those identified are Kachala Buzu, alias Halilu Sububu, Blackie, and 1 other bandit who confirmed his involvement in the murder of the late monarch in a now viral video clip. The senator assured that the family of the late Sadikin Gobri will never relent in their efforts to ensure that all those behind the brutal murder of the monarch have either been captured alive or killed by the troops. Now, reacting to that news, President Bola Tinubu says he's received it with relief, the news of the string of successful operations against security threats in the northwest by troops of the Nigerian military. Now, a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Saturday said the success of the operations gives further assurance that the country's security operatives are up to the task of ensuring the peace and security of the nation. Troops of Operation Hadarindaji on Thursday neutralized wanted bandit leader Halilu Sububu, who had been unleashing terror on citizens in Zamfara, Sokoto, and other parts of northwestern Nigeria. The troops also killed another terrorist, Sani Wala Burki, in a joint operation in Katsina, and busted a terrorist enclave in Kaduna, where 13 kidnapped students were freed. The successful operations follow the president's directive to the service chiefs to relocate to the zone until normalcy is restored. President Tinubu reassured security agencies of his continued support in achieving the priority objective of keeping the nation safe and secure. In a swift response to bandits' attack on remote community of Safana local government area of Katsina State, local security operatives have neutralized the bandits' kingpin Sani Wala Buruki and 6 of his foot soldiers. The bandits attacked Remote village on Friday night, shooting sporadically and forcefully entering into houses, dispossessing residents of their monies, animals and other valuables. In the aftermath of the attack, villagers mobilized themselves fully and called for reinforcement from the Safana local vigilantes and Community Watch Corps, who responded immediately and chased the hoodlums, killing the ringleader, Sani Baburuki and 6 of his followers. Some residents who prefer not to be mentioned informed Trust TV News in Kaduna that the community had suffered a series of bandits attacks leading to killings, abductions for ransom, rustling of animals, and displacement of people. Residents have hailed the local vigilantes and members of the local security outfit for their swift response to the hoodlums. Sani Wala Bariki and his group have been terrorizing and disrupting the peace of Safana and Danmusa local government areas over the last 12 years. Still the security over entire state. Officers of the Nigerian police force, in collaboration with the vigilante group in the state, have killed 5 bandits terrorizing some parts of the state. This follows the invasion of Komi village in Ertokola local government area of the state by the kidnappers who abducted 4 villagers a night before. This prompted the vigilante group of the village to alert the police, who joined forces to battle the hoodlums. The State Commissioner of Police, David Iloyonomo, who disclosed this in an interview, said the kidnappers ambushed the security operatives when they were chased to rescue the 4 kidnapped victims, but due to superior firepower, they fled. He insisted that when the hot chase intensified, the kidnappers abandoned 2 of their victims and proceeded deeper into the bush. The police boss revealed that a change in strategy by the security operatives further led to the rescue of the 2 other victims. Over in Kaduna State, troops of Sector 4 of Operation World Punch of the Nigerian Army have rescued 13 hostages from a kidnapper's den in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. According to a statement by the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, the hostages were rescued by the troops through credible human intelligence of bandits moving the kidnapped victims in the general area of Chigulu village in Kachia local government area. He said the troops subsequently mobilized for a rescue operation at the location of the suspected bandits camp and immediately engaged the bandits in a fierce-gun battle, which forced them to abandon the victims and flee into the dense forest. The rescued hostages from the bandits camp include 6 men and 7 women, while the troops also destroyed the camp and recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 locally made rifle, 4 AK-47 magazines, 87 rounds, 7.62 mm ammunition, 5 mini solar panels, 5 mobile phones, and the sum of 192,220 naira. The statement added that the rescued victims were conveyed to a military facility for examination and debriefing before being reunited with their families. Let's get to Kano State, where traders in Badume market face stiff competition with foreigners as 4 truckloads of onions leave the market in Bichi local government area for 4 West African countries every market day. Though the market is known for perishable goods like tomato, pepper and onions, customers find other food items like guinea corn, maize, beans relatively cheaper in Badume than elsewhere. Ahmed Dati sent in this report.
Sunday is a typical market day, and one is not disappointed with the hustle and bustle of buying and selling at Badume Market, 25 kilometers away from metropolitan Kano. Traders here make fortune selling onions to as far as Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Niger, and Chad Republic. Traders also use modern storage technique to preserve fresh onions for a longer period of time. A bag of onion now costs 45,000 naira, but may even go higher when it becomes scarce, particularly during dry season. Murtala Hamisu is one of the onion dealers in the market, and he speaks on the business.
So dai yanzu abin da muke siyan albasa yanzu akalla tana kai naira 48,000.
As of now, we are selling 1 bag of onion at the rate of 48,000 naira to 50,000 naira. That's the price, and that's how we are selling it because it's so expensive these days. And the people who used to come here to buy onions, there are people from Niger, from Chad, from Cote d'Ivoire, all over Africa. People used to come here to buy onions.
Kabiru Ya'u is a major dealer who has established markets in Niamey in Niger, Ghana and Chad Republic.
Onions from here in Badume, we used to take it to Niamey in Niger Republic, to Port Harcourt, Lagos, and different other places across the country.
This truck will soon be leaving for Niger, while this long one is being readied to move to Ghana. Masoud Musa says he makes an average of 8,000 naira daily loading onions.
Yesterday we load about 14 trucks, and today we don't know how many trucks we are going to load, but that's how we are doing the work. Sometimes you load 15 trucks, 18 trucks, depending on the product available.
At the grain section of the market, Hamza Saidu lamented that prices have gone beyond imagination. He said groundnut sold for 200 naira is now 1,200 per measure, just as dry cassava is sold at 1,700 naira from the previous 300 naira.
We used to sell one measure of gari at the rate of 1,300. Before now, it's just 300 naira. Granite is 1,200 naira. Everything has gone far. We are just asking for government to intervene. We just need assistance from government.
This side of the market is where fun seekers and traders resort to for pleasure and entertainment after the day's business. Ahmad Datti, Trust TV News, Kano.
As many Nigerians continue to decry the surge in prices of food commodities across the nation, pepper and tomato have crashed in Gombe main market. According to vendors, the increase in the quantity of pepper at the market crashed its price to at least 6,000 naira per bag, making it drop to about half of its price last week. However, onion, on the other hand, surged in price following its recent scarcity at the market. Hassan Kuli filed in this report.
The vendors, who are now experiencing a significant high patronage, attributed the development to the crash of pepper and tomato prices in the market, making it affordable for many Nigerians. While acknowledging the reduction in prices, the vendors said they are interacting with more customers than before, saying the crash of the commodities in the recent week helped them boost their sales. Well, we are experiencing a crash in the prices of the tomato and other commodities, such as pepper, this week. For a basket of tomatoes, there is a crash of at least 15,000 naira, which is a significant change to us and our customers. For the last few weeks, one will sell a bag of pepper at 20,000 naira. However, it is now selling at the rate of 14,000 naira. Most of our customers who could not afford in the last weeks are now buying it in large quantities because it is becoming cheaper, and it is a good development for both of us, I can say. We are selling a bag of pepper at 16,000 naira. This is a reduction in the price of commodity compared to last week, because previously we were selling it at the rate of 24,000 naira, a reduction of at least 8,000 naira in a week. And I can say that it is solely due to the large quantity of the commodity because we have supply in abundance. The price of the onion, on the other hand, surged with one bag ranging from 70 to 100,000 naira against 60 to 75,000 naira it was sold last week. The price have been going up recently because, as of last week, a bag of onion sold for 60,000 to 75,000 naira. However, it is now selling for between 75 to 100,000 naira, and it is mainly due to the recent increase in fuel price, as most of our commodities are brought here from places like Kano and Yobe, and unfortunately, our local onion here is not yet in large quantity. Therefore, we have to continue supplying from far places. The recent uncertainty and fluctuation in the price of petrol has had a significant impact on the price of not only food commodities, but the economy at large. However, the vendors are optimistic that prices will drop once local product reached the market in large quantities. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
Over in Edo State, several students of the University of Benin have been trapped in a 3-story building that collapsed in Ekosodin on Saturday morning. Ekosodin shares borders with the University of Benin and hosts a large number of student population. The story building on Ehato Street, Benin, the state capital, collapsed during the early morning rainfall in the state. Reports say although some of the trapped students have been rescued, the search for others is ongoing. The Dean of Student Affairs is said to be on the scene coordinating rescue efforts alongside the university team. Now, one of the students told reporters that a university rescue team managed to evacuate some of the trapped occupants, though several were severely injured. He stated that the injured victims were rushed to the hospital for medical treatment.
Three-story building, life and direct in the facility. Fair. Some died, some injured. Baba. What do you do? What do you have to say about
You're on to the news hour on Trust Television. Still to come. Kaduna youths pick up vocational skills amid limited job opportunities. More stories when we return. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. We told you that over 30 people feared dead, 8 rescued in Zamfara boat accident. We also informed you that troops rescued 13 kidnapped victims from bandits' hideout in Kaduna. To other stories, in Kano State, the vital blood donation drive is underway with the goal of addressing a significant medical challenge facing the state. Medical professionals from Murtala Muhammad Hospital, Kano, and volunteers have come together for a crucial blood donation drive. Here is the report.
The primary aim of this drive is to encourage residents to make blood donation a regular habit and to debunk some of the myths surrounding the process.
The major aim of this blood drive is the fact that we want to make it in such a way that people are going to make blood donation a habit, and then other people that must have heard a lot of myth with regards to blood donation can see that this is generally a seamless process for someone to go through, and then they can be able to donate. The major problem is the fact that there is a large deficit when it comes to blood provision in our hospital. We have a need of about 2 million pints of blood in Nigeria, but only 500,000 is provided, leaving us with a staggering deficit of over 75% of the amount of blood that is needed. And through this, we wanted to see how we can be able to kind of bridge that gap.
It's really a problem because, you know, Kano is very populous, and the higher the number of people we have, the more the number of ill people and more women getting into labor and having complications of labor and delivery. So we have a large number of people getting pregnant, getting their own babies. So they're at risk of having difficulties accessing blood because women are at the risk of that.
The medical team believes that by making the process more transparent and accessible, they can significantly increase the number of donors.
We feel like having access to the right amount of information is important, and because of that we've looked at around 20 to 30 most common myths, and we put them together, translated them in both English and the local Hausa language, and we've been putting all of those materials out for awareness. All of the donors that you are seeing here, we are collecting their information and making sure that anytime blood is needed in any of the hospitals in Kano, a donor that is due for donation can be matched with a real-time patient that needs such blood, and with that we can be able to do away with the problem of scarcity of blood in our hospital facilities.
The enthusiasm and willingness of the donors here today are truly encouraging. The drive has not only helped to increase the blood supply, but has also fostered a sense of community and solidarity among residents.
Yes, I will. If I can, I will continue to donate regularly, inshallah.
Actually, I am excited because I don't know who I myself. As usual, just to help people, the needy. So that's why I donate my blood to them.
It's clear that efforts like these are crucial in addressing the blood shortage crisis and saving lives. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
Still in Kano State, a state high court presided by the Chief Judge, Justice DJ Abdu Aboki, has granted an interim order restraining the 15th Fulani Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, from renovating the Nasarawa Mini Palace, where he has been holding court since his return to Kano after the dissolution of the Emirates. Kano State Government, the State Attorney General, and Kano Emirates are the plaintiffs, and Bayero is the sole defendant in the matter. There are the directed parties in the suit to maintain status quo regarding the structural and architectural design of the palace, pending hearing and determination of the suit. In the court document, the applicants filed an ex parte application dated 9 September and supported by 33 paragraphs, affidavit deposed to by Matonwale Kano, Ibrahim Ahmed. The court also ordered the monarch to be served at the court processes by substituted means and fixed October 2 for hearing on motion on notice. Over in Osun State, as part of the traditional transition rites for the late Owa, Oba Gabriel Adekunle Aromoloro, all markets in Ijesha land are to remain shut for the next 7 days. The palace on Friday officially confirmed the death of the traditional ruler and advised residents not to panic over the traditional transition rites for the late monarch. Hamid Oyegbade tells us more in this report.
The Odole Owa of Ijesha land and traditional prime minister of the palace, Adebola Orolugbagbe, officially confirmed the death of the traditional ruler, Oba Gabriel Adekunle Aromoloro. The traditional palace at Okemese was shut with immediate effect, while traditional transition rites commenced without delay and will last for the next 90 days. It declared that all markets across Ijesha land shall remain closed for the next 7 days, starting from Saturday, 14th September till 21st of September 2024.
Are enjoined to move about their normal daily lives and activities freely. The traditional palace of Okemese shall remain closed with immediate effect, while all activities are suspended until further notice.
One of the indigents of Ilesha and a trader in one of the popular markets in Ilesha described the late monarch in glowing terms.
We are currently celebrating the monumental life of our Imperial Majesty. We are celebrating the landmark achievement of our Imperial Majesty. We are celebrating the accomplishments.
And the man is very good. He's a good king. That's what I mean. And he loves Igbo people in the Ijesha land. That's why when the news of his death reached us, we concluded that we pay him a last respect by closing our shop.
The late Owa, who was installed in 1982, reigned for 42 years until his demise during the week after a brief illness. Hamid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
In political matters, candidates from the opposition political parties contesting for the forthcoming Kaduna State local government elections slated for 19th October 2024 are calling for the stoppage of the screening exercise conducted by the Kaduna State Independent Election Commission, KADSEICAM, over the pending suit before the court. The People Redemption Party PRP candidate Yahaya Shinko made the call while speaking to newsmen in Kaduna. Shinko said KADSEICAM must comply with extant provisions of the law, which requires publication of affidavits of a candidate vying for any political seat.
By line of activities under the law, the publication of affidavit of candidate is to predate the screening embarked upon by the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, but it was never published. 2. An affidavit by a candidate or a political party submitted to the Commission is a fulfillment of all requirements for election. 3. A candidate cannot rightly be disqualified extrajudicially by the CCOM via the screening which it has embarked upon, but only by order of the Kaduna State High Court. And 4. The entrenched civil right and obligation of persons in the public to freely glance through and get abreast with the document of the various candidates contesting for the various elective public offices, and ought to lead evidence in the Kaduna State High Court and seek a declaration to disqualify a candidate who give false information in the affidavit have also been skipped and denied by the Commission.
In Kaduna State, an idea made possible by a community-based initiative is transforming schools into workshops. Jamil Mabai visited one of the schools in Kankel local government area and sent this story of how a young boy, teased by his classmates for not having the right shoes, is now crafting metal with confidence and even dreams of becoming one of the biggest welders in the world. Following his initiative, over 40 students are immersed in vocational crafts, learning to shape metal and wood into tangible creations. Here's his report.
Ahmad Aliyu recalled how he was teased by his classmates for not having the right shoes.
I was in class when our teacher asked us to pick nylon bags. I was wearing slippers and I used nylon in tying the shoes. My friend decided to pick my shoes and tease me.
Lately, he began to learn a craft, and now everything has changed.
With the coming of this initiative, I have plenty shoes and clothes.
The community-based initiative in Kaduna is focused on teaching young pupils vocational crafts as part of school activities. Trust TV visited one of the schools in Kankia local government, and this is where the magic happens. Over 40 students with determination are engrossed in their craft.
We have divided the students into 3 groups: welding, carpentry, group that deals with woods, and the painting category that paints the furniture.
The enthusiasm is palpable as these young minds, once confined to textbooks, are now shaping metal and woods into tangible creations.
We have students that bought portable welding machines for house-to-house services.
Ahmad says he wants to become the biggest welder in the world, as this initiative has given him the tools and confidence to dream big.
I want to be the biggest welder in Nigeria and Africa as a whole.
The impact of the community initiative extends beyond the school walls, as the community is also reaping the benefit as well.
They have done work to schools in Darawa, Dusinma, and Kurfi local governments.
Jamil Mabai, Trust TV, Kaduna.
We're still on to News Hour on Trust TV. Up ahead, business, foreign and sports. After the break, please just stay with us. Welcome back. The United Nations has assured that it will support those rescued and survivors affected by the devastating flood in Maiduguri that killed over 30 people and dislodged 414,000 from their homes. The UN resident and humanitarian coordinator for Nigeria disclosed this during a courtesy visit to Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum at the government house in Maiduguri. Here's the report.
The United Nations first held a press conference to give an update on the humanitarian activities carried out in the past 5 days following the flood that ransacked residents from their homes and left the capital submerged. The United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator for Nigeria, Mohammed Malik Fall, said it is focused on ensuring that those affected and trapped are rescued.
Is that we continue to step up the work related to the rescue and saving life of those people as we respond to the immediate need of those that have already been rescued or that have been already relocated to safer place. That's the kind of twofold response that UN is working on.
The humanitarian team was also at the Borno State Government House to sympathize with the state government over the disaster and to synergize efforts in humanitarian interventions.
Not only in sympathy and in solidarity and in words, but we wanted to translate it into action. I know the action has already started unfolding, and I don't want this meeting to be a list of WHO, UNDP, OCHA, all UN families doing. But I just want you to tell you that we will not spare any of our resources in this response. Probably we might not be where we wanted to be in terms of resources, but as we speak, we will try also to repurpose resources that were designed for some other intervention to see how we can bring them towards scaling up and speeding up this response.
Meanwhile, Governor Zulum appreciated the United Nations team and assured of commitment to short and longer-term solutions for affected communities.
With your support, we can do this together, bounce back and get back on track towards achieving the durable solutions for internal displacement. And our 25-year development plan and 10 years transformation initiatives. But most importantly, how can we mitigate climate actions that will foster future occurrences? Working with the UN family is something that we need to work with you.
Governor Babagana Zulum further called for a comprehensive flood in disaster assessment to guide the government in her intervention exercise. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
In business, the Presidential Committee on the Sale of Crude Oil and Refined Products has announced that loading of the first batch of petrol from the Dangote refinery will commence on Sunday, September 15. A member of the committee and chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Zach Adedeji, disclosed this in Abuja on Friday. Briefing journalists, the FIRS board said from October 1, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, will commence a supply of about 385 kilo barrels per day of crude oil to the Dangote refinery to be paid for in Naira. Other deliberations reached by the committee include the sale of diesel in Naira by the Dangote refinery to any interested off-taker, while PMS will only be sold to the NNPCL. In business, Nigerian commercial banks have lost a total sum of 42.6 billion naira to fraud and forgeries over a 3-month period from April to June this year. A new report has stated the amount lost in the second quarter of 2024 alone exceeded the total amount lost to fraud by the banks throughout the entire year of 2023, which amounted to 9.4 billion naira. This was revealed by the Financial Institutions Training Center in its Quarter 2 2024 Fraud and Forgeries report released on Saturday, highlighting a surge in fraudulent activities across banking platforms. The FITC report is based on returns on fraud and forgery cases received from 28 deposit money institutions in the country. According to FITC, 80 of such returns were received in the quarter under review. It said 26 reports were submitted in April, while 27 reports were received in both May and June. A breakdown of the FITC's data showed that the Quarter 2 loss shows an 8,993% increase in loss when compared with the 468.4 million naira lost in Quarter 1, 2024. Nigeria's external reserves recorded an increase of $424.68 million between August 30 and September 10, highlighting an improved financial outlook for the country. The reserves, crucial for stabilizing the naira, financing imports, and managing external obligations, rose from 36.305 billion naira on August 30 to $36.730 billion beg your pardon, by September 10, representing a 1.17% increase over the 11 days, according to data from the CBN. However, a slight dip to $36.244 billion was recorded on September 2nd, representing a minor decline of $16 million. This was followed by recovery, with the reserves rising to $36.274 billion on September 3rd, reflecting a gain of $30 million. A further analysis of the report indicated that on September 4, the reserves had returned to the August 30 level, reaching $36.304 billion. The positive trend continued on September 5 as the reserves climbed to $36.337 billion, representing an increase of $33 million. A more substantial gain occurred on September 6, with reserves growing by $55 million to $36.392 billion. The Apex Bank attributed the growth to the evolution of the foreign exchange markets in Nigeria, changing patterns of international trade, institutional changes in the economy, and structural shifts in production. On the international scene, a man who attacked Comoros President Azali Assoumani with a knife and injured him slightly has been found dead in prison, the national prosecutor said Saturday, a day after the incident. Investigators found his lifeless body lying on the floor on Saturday morning. The doctor declared him dead. Ali Muhammad Junaid told a press conference, adding that an investigation has been launched to determine the cause of his death. Government spokeswoman Fatima Hamada said on Saturday that 65-year-old Assoumani was at home with his family and doing very well. The attack took place during a funeral for a well-known religious leader. The knife injured the president's hand, but the attacker was stopped by another mourner, witnesses said. Now, South Sudan's government has announced it is postponing the long-delayed general elections until December 2026, citing a lack of preparedness. This is the second time the country, which gained independence in 2011, is postponing elections and extending the transitional period that started in February 2020. President Salva Kiir and his former rival turned deputy Riek Machar signed a peace agreement in 2018 that ended a 5-year civil war which killed an estimated 400,000 people, triggered a famine, and led to a massive refugee crisis. The government said it needed more time to complete processes such as a census, drafting of a permanent constitution, and the registration of political parties before an election could be held, according to the presidential advisor on national security, Tut Gottlook. Cabinet Affairs Minister Martin Elia Lumoru said the extension followed recommendations from both electoral institutions and the security sector. And it's now time to join Adini Ajishafe for Sports News Update.
Team Nigerian Paralympics to 2024 Paralympic Games have been warmly received by the wife of Nigerian President Senator Tinubu at the presidential villa after returning from Paris. The team, led by the Honorable Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Owano, were hosted by Senator Tinubu after winning 7 medals. The First Lady praised the athletes for their dedication, resilience, and extraordinary achievements, emphasizing that their success at the Paralympic Games projects perseverance, dedication, with higher standard of sportsmanship. The Honorable Minister of Sport Development, John Owano, expressed pride in the athletes' performance and appreciated federal government for the support on sport development in Nigeria. Sport Minister valued the team's achievement and success, which serves as inspiration to Nigerians. Owano reaffirmed the government's commitment to sport development, particularly for para-athletes, as Nigerians celebrate the achievements of the Paralympic heroes. Nigerian Paralympic team won 2 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze medals to make 7 medals won in Paris. Wife of the president, who doubled as the grand patron of African Paralympic sport, gifts gold medalist $20,000, silver medalist $10,000, and bronze medalist $5,000. And in football, Nottingham Forest Hudson Odoi stunned Liverpool at Anfield to end and slot's perfect start as race manager. The Soitu caught in from the left and caught in an inch-perfect shot into the far bottom corner, which goalkeeper Alisson could not reach. Forest's first win at Liverpool in any competition since 1969. The hosts went closest before the break when Luis Diaz chased a lost cause. cut in and hammered a shot against the near post from a tight angle. The visitors moved into fourth on the table with 2 wins and 2 draws. Liverpool are 1 point above them. And on a sad note, Olympic marathon runner Rebecca Cheptegei, set ablaze by her former partner and later died, has been buried in eastern Uganda. Cheptegei died in the hospital 4 days after suffering burns on more than 80% of her body, which led to multi-organ failure. Cheptegei, a member of Uganda's armed forces, was given a 3-volley salute with her coffin on display and draped in the Ugandan flag. They observed a moment of silence and standing ovation as they paid their respect to the late athlete. Dixon Dermer attacked Cheptegei with petrol a fortnight ago outside her home in neighboring northwest Kenya, close to where she trained. Cheptegei came for the fourth at her last race at the Paris Olympic Marathon. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajisafe.
And that's the size of our package for News Hour tonight. For more of our news, programs and documentaries, please do to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. On behalf of the news production team, thank you so much for joining us tonight.